Hello guys, welcome back to a brand new video, and today I have some unfortunate news. So today, July 1st, 2026, PlayStation has announced that they are completely phasing out physical disc in 2028, which is very unfortunate because for me, when I was very young, I played the PS1, which was the golden days, man. I loved the PS1, and you know, I just wish they want to do so because I played Medal of Honor, I played the Mummy, Spyro, all on the PS1. I didn't even need to buy any digital games because I don't even think digital games even existed back then. So it's really gonna hurt me because I liked typically buying in between physical and digital. And here's the problem I have with that. So first off, the main thing I have an issue with is just the fact that I feel like they're doing this so that they can raise the prices on digital games, which is gonna hurt because it's there's not gonna be any competition with any physical games. Basically, they're gonna be entirely gone, and it's just gonna really hurt the economy because I for real was a huge physical disc. I could show you my collection. I have entirely of PS4 games. This is these are all the games I've had all throughout the years, and it's just crazy to think that they would just completely just be like, you know what, we're just going to phase out these completely, even though they say completely 85% of people are buying digital, not physical games. But it just, to me, I like having options. It's better to have options than just having to buy physical versions, because it's I just don't understand. Whoops, keep dropping games because I have a ton of them, man. Because honestly, I don't even think buying the PS6 would even be worth it in 2028, to be honest with you, because if you can't play these backwards compatible, you're just gonna have to buy the games all over again. And to me, that's just not gonna happen, because if I can't play these games, then these games are basically a waste. And to me, I like to kind of revisit parts of my childhood, all the different kinds of games, and even way back I bought GTA for it was really old for PC. And see, I remember when games, they would typically just come with multiple different CDs, and it's well, if they're not doing that anymore, then what's the use? It's just, to me, I think in reality these copies, they hold a lot of value in me, because when I'm thinking about it, if it weren't for physical games, I want to be able to play. I don't even know about the game in the first place. To me, physical, for me, was honestly the way to go, because honestly, you could just play. For the PS4, I had no problem with, when I was downloading the game, I could play it immediately. I didn't have to download it. Even if I wasn't, way before, I wasn't connected to PSN network. And I could just download the game without even having to apply any updates at all. And now, let me show you. So when I download a game, it'll for example, so say if I turn off my internet, I'll show you guys real quick. So let me turn on my PlayStation first and show you what I mean. So if I turn this on, and basically, say if I turn off my internet, it's not gonna end well, because if I turn off my internet, there's not gonna be a single way for me to download the game. So let me just show you real quick. So let me turn off my internet real quick. So as you can tell, I just turned off the internet. So look what the issue is. So if I look through here, you can tell I can't download any of my other games that I have. And that's a big issue because if I don't have access to my games, like my PS4, I had access to it, but with this, I'm not able to access anything. So let me show you when I have it on. So as you can see, I just turned on the internet and see, like you can't even download any of your games that you ever wanted. Like the digital games that you have, you won't be able to download unless you have downloaded them first before you even turned off your internet. Which is absolutely terrible because it's like I don't like how nowadays you have to have an internet connection just to play your digital games. And that's an issue I have with digital games. Way back in the day, you could just be like, "Oh, I want to play that game," or say that game. I could just download it from the library and basically you would have the game already there. It would be installed. You wouldn't have to download anything else. It'd just be right there. But the fact that they're now making it so that you have to buy digital, and it's just not going to work for me because if I can't play any of these games, what's the use of buying a digital game rather than a physical game that I can actually play? So let me try this out. Let me turn off the internet real quick and see if I can put in a disc and see what happens. Because I don't think I've ever tried this before. I don't think I've ever tried to download a game. Or at least say, okay, I think one of the games I'm going to download is like my college football game. I've been playing that for a little while, but I deleted it because I kind of felt like I was getting a little bored with it. But I'll re-download it anyway so that I can play it. So let me see what happens, even though the software update I didn't realize is downloading, but let's see what happens. Alright, so I turn my Wi-Fi off. Let's see what happens if I put in a disc. Let's see, I have my PlayStation in view. I'll see what happens when I put in a disc. Where's my college football? I think I can. Hold on. Let me find it real quick. Alright, so I'm gonna try to put in college football and see what happens. And remind yourself, I am offline, so we'll see what happens if I put in a disc that I own and see what happens. Alright, so let's put this in and see if it actually lets me play the game. If so, then yeah, physical is the way to go. If not, then that's really gonna be sad. Alright, so I just put the disc in. Let's see what happens. Can I play the game at all? And see, it wants me to download the game for apparent reason, but I am offline. So well, maybe I'll let this download and see if it actually lets me play, because if so, then that's honestly a good thing. Because I didn't realize that, I mean, I deleted the game, but it definitely makes you download the game. But I remember way back on the PS4, you could just put in the game without PSN, and you could play the game right away. But here you have to download an update, which is kind of annoying, because especially if you just want to just play the game and not want to have any updates, it's kind of frustrating that you have to wait and for the game to download. And yeah, as you know, like, I prefer physical, even though yes, I have a lot of digital games. But the problem with that is, say they take it away. Like, I heard like a little while ago they took away like over hundreds of thousands of movies that you could actually watch on PlayStation, which is just like not good. I mean, I just don't know why they would even they would even decide to do that in the first place, unless they like, oh, we gotta take back all this because we're spending too much money. I don't know, but to me, I really don't understand the purpose of this. I mean, of course, save costs. They don't want to spend too much, but I felt like with not 5, GTA 6 coming out, it's kind of ruined to me the market. Because just to think of it, I mean, like, you pre-order the game, right? But to me, I don't pre-order games because pre-ordering to me is not a good idea. So you pre-order the game, but the thing is, they won't even have a physical disc version. Basically, they'll give you like a code and be like, why would they just give you a code? Like, that's just kind of silly and kind of pointless to me. Because to me, I liked collecting a lot of the games. Like, I have a ton of games, and the fact that they just will block all these games from being downloaded is insane. Even this, I'm kidding. That's PC. But I just don't understand what their goal with this was. To me, they're gonna possibly lose profit. To me, I was always Team PlayStation because I just grew up with it from the PS1 era. Medal of Honor was my favorite game. I always wish they made a remaster of it. And I also had this game. I remember way back in the day. Medal of Honor Pacific Assault. This was one of my games that I had as a little kid, but it's pretty much old. Used to have Allied Assault, but we don't have it anymore. So it's like, it's kind of unfortunate, It's like all these games I would have are just not really working as much. Because, as games get older, they tend to just wear and tear and no longer work. So it's like, I don't know. But I will try to see, like, after this downloads, probably I'll do it when the internet's turned on. I'll give you guys an update and see if I can actually play the game. Because if so, then yeah, physical beats digital. But we'll see. It'll probably take me a couple minutes. We'll see what happens. And I also remember, like, I think there was that one time when there was, like, a very bad storm, and, like, we didn't have Wi-Fi, but we did have power. And the thing I remember playing, I think it was Madden 21, this game, when it was raining, and, yeah. I miss those times when you could just play a game without even having to force update, because if you're not even connected to the PSN network, you had it very easy because you could just download your games. And typically it was definitely a lot easier to just download your games on the PlayStation 4. And, from what I heard, for a long while, PS4, there were a lot of majority still played on PS4. And the reason for that is because not only was the PS5 very expensive, I mean, it did go down by Christmas. It was like $450 for that. It was a pretty good sale. But, like, for a little while, there was more people on PS4 and then PS5. And I still have, friends that still play on PS4, which is fine because, I typically enjoyed the PS4 because it just played a lot of my games without even having to download them, because I didn't have PSN at all. I remember in 2017, I didn't have PSN. I just played the games from there. But I feel like, to me, physical, once again, wins at pretty much everything. Because not only is it like, it's a collector's item, because you get, like, to me, I just like the artwork. Like, I collect, like, physical games just because I find it, to me, not only is it a lot faster, because sometimes, like, you download, a digital game, it takes a long time to download. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I had, like, a game, like, say, 2K, NBA 2K26 or something like that. It took a little while to download. I mean, PS5, I know it's a little faster to download, but I remember when I had my PS4, I downloaded that, 2K25, it took forever. And I'm not gonna lie, like, games like that, it's just not, I mean, no, I had that on disc, so disc pretty much was faster, but, I don't know what to talk about there, but it was just, to me, I just pretty much just have to say that when I download just digital overall, it just takes longer. But I kind of forgot that I had 2K25 for the PS4. I meant to say, I think it was 2K22. That's when I first started playing NBA, but I kind of stopped now. Because not only, like, I have WWE. I mean, this was a high gig game, but in particular, to me, PlayStation's, like, whether it determines about the rising amount of gigabytes that you have to have space for these games. Like, from what I noticed, I'm not gonna lie, this is just not good at all, but when I got the PS5, from what I noticed from the PS4, there was a major difference I noticed. And not only was, like, I looked at it and it was like, you got less storage. And that's what I was like, I can imagine PS6, you get over like 822 gigabytes or something like that. I would not buy it at all. They emphasize on the box. I'm not gonna lie. Look, this is what they emphasize. They emphasize on the box. 1 terabyte. But is it really? You think you're gaining 1 terabyte of space, but typically, not really. And typically, I was excited for the PS5, but now I'm thinking about, what if I don't get the PS6? I'm thinking the possibilities might just be like, I see a lot of people thinking about going to PC, and I kind of agree with them. PC pretty much has a library. You could still buy physical copies. I mean, I know there's still a lot of digital games out there, but I prefer physical. Like, I could just defend this argument all day about just the amount. Let's just look at the artwork. Just the amount of physical. And just like digital, you buy the games and you get nothing in return. You buy it, but, you know, I forgot what that slogan was, but many people were making fun of PlayStation about the fact you buy it, but you don't actually own it. So, but you would still be happy, and I just don't completely agree with that, because in my terms of playing games all throughout the years, I just think just buying digital is just kind of, I mean, look, I agree. I see sales all the time. They go on sale. I can't just reject the offer. I buy the game digitally. There's some pros and there's some pros and some cons. But I'm not saying that, like, I mean, digital games aren't bad, but I'd like to have another option just in case if I'm like, well, if say, look, for example, say there's a sale going on. I always go about sales because normally I always go for sales. Say there's a sale going on and they have a cheaper, say this game, it costs $20 at the store, practically. And say this game also goes on sale on digital for like $25. Who would you go for? I'd go for physical. Just because, I know that's just not a really good comparison, even though, yes, the price difference to me does matter significantly, but sometimes I mostly go towards, like, if there's a sale going on in Walmart, I'd get it. But it's, to me, the fact that you just don't have any options anymore, and that's just really hurting a lot. Alright, let's see if I can play this game. I'm going to turn it offline and see if I can still play it. Alright, so I'm going to turn the internet off, and I'm going to see if I can still play the game. I'm just going to play a quick match. I'm not going to be playing a full match. I might just play a play now because my space is kind of backed up because I got quite a lot of clips stored on there, but I'm aiming to fix my space soon after. I think it's because mass majority of my space, I mean, I typically play GTA 5 now and then, but see, I could still access the game. So let me see, is there like, okay, play now. Proceed without rewards. See, a game like this, I'm just gonna play a few minutes. I'm gonna play Air Force because Air Force is one of my favorites. Actually, you know what? I'll go random team. Liberty, that's fine. I'll be Liberty versus UCF. I said UF. That's Florida. Yeah, it's already o'clock. I'd rather have 15 seconds. Okay. Advance. Actually, I'm just gonna play 1/4. And it's, like, to be honest, if I'm able to just play through, like, majority of the game, that just proves just how good that physical can actually be, because digital you can't even. To me, I would like to just download games if I don't have any internet, because everything just relies on internet, and I kind of just don't like how PlayStation is now reluctant to where they're more about trying to make you use your internet so much, and to me, I'm just like, I just don't like that. I wish I could just play a game without even having to be bothered by internet. Because to me, I could probably just download the game offline, turn it into rest mode. That's what I usually do for all my games, is I turn it to rest mode. I mean, these games go quick, so I'm just gonna play probably an entire quarter. Who knows? Because I love football, but you know, many times, oof, some of these games get a little frustrating sometimes. But I'll try not to get upset here, even though I don't know. I think we are the home team. Yeah, we are the home team. But yeah, to me, I just think they kind of just ruined the, pretty much the economy with all just the amount of physical games that are just now gonna go gone. I mean, they're just no longer gonna be there, and that's why I think they're gonna just be valuable in the future. You just hold on to them, and you can play them on as many times as you want. Because honestly, digital doesn't last forever. There's gonna be a time where, like I said, I don't fully trust on their word that they say that even if you have a digital game, like you're basically getting a license to it, and I just don't fully agree with that. I feel like you should just have entirely of the game. You shouldn't just have to pay a license. You should have ownership of the game. And I just don't know why companies are trying to do this. They're trying to emphasize that you basically own nothing, but you'll still be happy. And I just don't think that's true at all. Because to me, I think a lot about how, like, especially because physical games have been out longer than digital games. And because there was, back then, man, I enjoyed PS1 era every time, bro. Every time I would go back to that moment. But man, I just can't believe that, like, you know how things are. You know, things don't last forever. They honestly, like, break. And, that's how the PlayStation 1 lasted. I mean, it lasted a long while, but then, just broke. So yeah, I just don't like how they made to me, they made the decision a little too quick and imminent. I mean, they just were like, you know what, let's get on right to it. But I just feel like they went a little bit too beyond, and it's just too much to take in. I mean, why do it so early on? I mean, there's physical games like everywhere. I just don't know why the need to turn it down. I mean, that's just gonna just That's gonna, to me, what it's gonna do is, it's gonna lower. There's not gonna be many people like buying the games anymore. To me, it just doesn't give a good excuse, and there's no substitute in return. Basically, after that, it's just nothing from here on out. And I'm just like, well, that just stinks because I'm just gonna enjoy as much as my physical games as I can. Because honestly, at this point, they're getting rid of all the physical games by the end of the year. I mean, not the end of the year, but the end of 2028. I mean, and no, at the beginning. Then that's just gonna really put a bad, whoops, not bad pass. That's just gonna put a bad implication on PlayStation, because now the mood changes, because many people are gonna look at this and they're just gonna be like, well, if we don't have any more options, what do we do now? Do we just go digital, or do we just not get the game at all? Because to me, that's what I'm always deciding. If they're no longer gonna have physical, then what am I gonna do? Am I not gonna buy the game? Probably not. I don't know. It determines how. To me, a game always determines on quality and how good it actually runs. And to me, what they're doing now is they're trying to limit. Oh man, he just went all the way for a touchdown. Look like. But honestly, to me, it just changes a lot of things, because now there's just not going to be any more options anymore. It's either you buy the game or you don't. And I don't know, man. To me, as someone that usually buys a lot of games, I think right now that it just might really hurt the business a lot. A lot of sales might go down as much as a lot, because even though they said 85% of people buy the digital, I'm just typically not buying it, because there's still some people that still, even if they buy digital games, they still buy physical. To me, I like to just have two varying options of two different categories, because you get digital, but to me that doesn't mean you practically own the game, and I just don't like the sense of that, because it's like you're paying for a game that you just only have for a limited time, and then if they take down the servers, you won't be able to play it anymore. And so that's what I think about physical games in its entirety. I just think it's the main important thing to keep your eye on, because without physical games, the market's going to just hit an all-time low, to be honest with you. I mean, to me, from what I've seen, a lot of people have just been complaining. I completely agree with them. I'm one of those guys that just likes to buy, like, I like a combination. I just don't like only buying digital games. I like having two separate options to actually have a choice. And basically, they're basically like, you know what? We're not going to give you those options. You either buy the game, or you just you just won't get it. And I just think it's not fair at that point. So who knows? I just only talk about my opinion only. I mean, I just think it's just a sad thing to see. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. I'm quite overwhelmed, because I didn't realize until I saw a post on it. I was like, jeez. I didn't realize they were doing it, but yeah. But from what I would say, if you still have any physical games left, stick with them, because I tell you, they probably run a lot better than some digital games. Like, I know some digital games are pretty bad run, but if you get the physical, I mean, I guess they run the same way, but to me, otherwise, I think that physical will always be my number one to go. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed, and yeah, we'll see you next one. I wish you guys, and peace out. Have a blessed day. Peace out. Go show. Peace, man.